let's talk about knowing everything. Hey, this is Alex Tremble, your favorite leadership and career coach, and I'm here to share with you some information that I think is mind-blowing, a way of thinking that honestly, myself, I just ran into this problem, this challenge a week ago, and I've been thinking through it, and I came up with an answer, a solution that I have to share with you, and I think it's pretty impressive and mind-blowing. I'll just say that. But before we get started, as always, I need you to please click that like button and click the subscribe button and go on, you know it, click the notifications. I do this every single time. I'm just going to assume you're doing this. Okay, let's get going. A few weeks ago, I contacted my friend, my best friend. Him and I have been on this learning binge for almost 2 years. I mean, we are consistently watching more YouTube, reading more articles, reading more books, going to courses. Like, we have been on this binge, just learning everything about our individual crafts. It's been crazy beneficial because I've learned so much over the last 2 years that I'm amazed by myself. I didn't realize there were so many different concepts and so many different strategies and tools out there to help people be successful. But recently I've sort of ran into a problem. I found myself watching more music videos. I found myself watching more cartoons. I found myself watching a lot of funny skits on YouTube. Yes, I am guilty about all that stuff. And, I'm a pretty introspective person. So I started thinking, like, why am I doing this? Why am I allocating my time to these things that really aren't valuable to me right now? They're not helping me go to where I want to be. And so I was thinking about that. And so I called him up and I said, hey, what have you been doing? What are you reading right now? What have you been doing learning wise? And he said, well, recently I've been, watching a lot of music videos. And I was like, yeah, I have the same problem. I said, don't you want to learn something else? And he replied back with something that made us both think, because we had a conversation about it afterwards. He said, well, I kind of already know where I'm going. So I don't necessarily need to focus on this right now because I know where I'm going. And I posed a question like, but do you? Do you know where you're going? I mean, we think we know a lot about our topics. Mine is leadership and influence, and his is real estate and investing. But do we? I mean, there's no way we know everything out there. So we've run into a problem. See, we don't know what we don't know. And so as I pondered this situation, I came up with a solution. Well, actually, a realization. See, when you're on this learning binge, like I was on and my friend was on, there are two things that are extremely important. And again, before I say those two things, please take a second to click that like button. I really greatly appreciate it. Those two things are really critical. The first thing I learned from John C. Maxwell, the international bestseller and leadership development guru, phenomenal individual. He shared that when people ask him, how does he become so successful? What's the secret to becoming successful? His answer, he said, is always extremely underwhelming. It's always boring. No one is interested in the answer that he gives him. And if he says he actually said if he complimented someone this, they would think that he was saying something bad about them. When he says that, when people ask if they can shadow him for a day or two, just to see how he maneuvers and at what he does, he always says they are very underwhelmed. And it's because of this one thing that he said he does that has made him successful that most people do not want to focus on. That one thing is consistency. Yeah. I mean, literally, what if someone said, hey, you think you're a great leader? When I think about you, I think about consistent. I think someone's consistent. It doesn't turn people on. It's not a sexy term. It's not an exciting term, but think about it. It doesn't matter how smart you are. Matter how hard you work. Doesn't matter what strategic relationships you have. None of those things, nothing matters if you are not consistent. So that is something that is critical. See, when you're on this learning binge, at some point, you're going to be bored, right? You're going to want to do something else. It's not going to be as fun to learn. Again, even every once in a while, I'm like, do I really want to listen to this next audiobook? But it's not about being fun or being sexy. It's about being consistent. Another example I like to share is, what is your favorite music group? Say Kiss, right? Kiss has played their songs thousands of times. I am fairly sure after 100 times or so, they weren't motivated to sing that song anymore. I mean, they weren't excited to do it. It wasn't motivation. It was motivation that kept them going. It was their consistency that kept them going, which allowed them to become who they were, the phenomenal band they were. It's consistency. So that's the first thing is when you're on this learning binge, at some point, it's gonna be boring. It's not gonna be fun anymore. Whatever it is, you have to remain consistent. You have to continue learning, even when it doesn't feel fun anymore. You gotta continue learning, and that's how you will remain moving forward in your career. But also, that will allow you to continue to be an expert and remain an expert. Because as soon as you stop going up, you start going down, and that's a reality. Okay, because the world doesn't stop because you stop learning. So that's the first thing. The first thing is consistency. The second thing is mentorship. Man, see, the fact that my friend and I don't know what to learn anymore, this is not a result of us knowing everything, though it may feel like, oh, I know everything. It's a result of us not knowing what we don't know. And so who can teach us, who can guide you to learn those things that you don't even know you need to learn? A mentor. And this is why mentorship is so critical for your success. I have 4 things I say that is critical to be successful. 1, political savvy, mentorship, networking, and leadership skills. If you don't have those 4 things, you're not going to make it. And so mentorship is one of those 4. I have a number of trainings and things I do on mentorship, but today I'm just going to say, I'll make the point. This is why you have to find mentors, and not just any mentor, not someone who's at your level. No, you're not looking for that. You're looking for someone who's not even good. If you're here, I don't want you to find a mentor here. If you're here, I want you to find a mentor here. I want your mentor to be exceptional. Again, this is why I've always had the mindset I've had, because I'm not searching for people who've barely made it above me. I'm looking for people who've been extraordinary in their respective fields, because I know they know so much more than me, and they will open my mind to things I would have never thought about. Mentorship. So I will close this with saying that if you're taking this learning journey with me, at some point you're going to feel like you don't know where to go. And you may start watching more music videos, more cartoons, and whatever it is that you may start doing instead of learning. But I want you to know, 1, that it's normal, okay? This is very normal. That, it kind of falls off. At first you're energized and you learn new things, but then you don't know what else to learn. Like, it's normal. But I want you to be very cognizant. When you start to see yourself falling off of your learning patterns, your learning schedules, I want you to think of this video. I want you to realize that you got to be consistent, keep it moving, keep going. And that means that if you don't know where you're going, that means you need to get another mentor, someone to show you what to focus on next. And again, always feel free to reach out to me, comment below your thoughts. Do you think I missed something? What other ideas that you may have? And again, always, you can subscribe to my newsletter where I share a bunch of other free tools down below in the description section. So, as always, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.